Hello, everyone, from wherever you're watching this from. First and foremost, my name is Ndemo Steven. I know many people have subscribed to this channel, Ndemo GR Live, and today I don't want to beat around the bush. I want to talk about depression. You see, today, every time that we wake up, when we listen to the news, every day you hear the news that so and so has lost their lives through depression. Sometimes most of the news that has been on the limelight, especially here in Kenya, has always been around love triangles that people entered into relationships expecting that they'll find love only for them to end up being disappointed. And I think that it's something good that we talk about depression. You see, we are a generation that has so many people. In the world, we have billions of people, and in Kenya, we have millions of people, close to 50 million citizens, who their life depends on the decisions that they make day in, day out. And depression, the consequences of depression may lead to many causes or may lead to many decisions that someone may make. And that's why today we must have a conversation on why it's good for us to make right decisions if we get depressed. The reality is, in such a country, there are high chances that someone ends up being depressed. There are many factors that lead to people being depressed, but one of the biggest things that leads to depression is expectations. You see, many people have expectations out here. You go to school expecting that you'll find education and have the job that you so much dream for. Many people enter into love expecting that love may give and cure their insecurities, that once they find the partner whom they deem to be the right partner or the better half, they have the belief that at the end of the day, their love will work out and they won't be disappointed. Sometimes parents give birth to sons and daughters, expecting that from those same kids, they'll turn up to become their pride. But unfortunately, the world is so unpredictable, and some of the expectations that we have, if not majority of them, they end up turning upside down. And what it leads to, people becoming upset. It leads to people becoming disappointed. And once they become disappointed, in the long run, it leads to them being depressed. Therefore, depression is a state of the mind. And if it is a state of the mind, then it can be countered. It's a matter of mentality that you wake up today, whatever you wanted to achieve, you never achieved it, you become hurt, you become heartbroken, and it drains you so much. But I believe that if as the society, we had to rise up, the kind of the decisions that we make in our low moments, in our moments of depression, really matter on how best the world will be to us. It really matters if the world will be fair to us. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that it's high time we have the moral courage to handle depression. And it's so possible. Number one, we need to lower our expectations. For instance, I'm wearing a jersey, and this is a jersey of Manchester United. And the reality is that it being a jersey of Manchester United, United has passed through many things as a team. And if I have so much expectations about upon it, I'll be hurt because expectations hurt. Therefore, number one, try to find a way of handling the situation. And secondly, no matter how tough it becomes, nothing is worth you taking your life. Nothing is worth you making the harsh decision that I cannot hold it anymore, and maybe taking my life is the only solution I have. There are many solutions out there to enable you be out of that situation that you deemed it was so tough. There are many alternatives to enable you have that kind of peace of mind that you so much wanted. There are many alternatives to make you achieve the goal that you wanted. And maybe when talk about depression, after countering expectations, we need to learn the art of patience. People are no longer patient in our world. Today, someone wakes up and wants the goal they wanted to achieve to be done in the next minute. The reality is, as they say, that life is not a Nigerian movie, or life is not an Hollywood movie whereby it follows a given script. Even our life, so it is. That we must know that we must be patient. The kind of the dream that you have requires you to be patient. The kind of goal that you have requires you to be patient. And if you can learn the art of patience, then we can go so far and avoid many instances that may have led us to depression. Many a times we've been told that patience is not the art of waiting. Patience is the quality of the waiting. That if we will give value to the time that we are waiting for a goal to be achieved, then we will gain experience. If we give value to the time that we are waiting for a certain dream to be achieved, then in the process, we will learn the process. We will learn how to challenge the process. We will learn how best a goal has to be achieved. And maybe sometimes you feel like you've been disappointed because whatever you wanted to achieve was not achieved in a given time. But I believe that life as is a process, that life has a pattern, that life has a given system that it follows before you get the reward of your effort. And if you've not fulfilled the system's expectation, no matter how good you are, you will not achieve it. The reality is, when you talk about Joe Biden, who is the current president of America, around age 78 or 79, there or so, he had many times that he wished to become a president. He had so many times that he contested to become the flag bearer of the Democrat Party of the United States of America. But all those times that he was a leader, being a father or being a person who served in the US Army all along, all that time he had to wait until when he recently got elected as the United States of America president, or they call it POTUS. All the time he was learning the process. If he had given up, becoming depressed, and maybe making rash decisions, then he could not have achieved it. With so many musicians out there, so many. I know you get young people out there love music because anyway, music is a rhythm. But the reality is that all those musicians that we so much admire, all those musicians that we so much look up to, they waited for their time. They waited for their time to be ripe for them to achieve that breakthrough that they wanted, to be on that billboard, to be that trending person. If they were impatient, then they could have lost the lesson. They could have lost the process. And therefore, maybe out there, life is becoming tough to you. You're feeling depressed. Just understand the system, understand the process, trust the process. The process, when you're told to trust the process, does not promise us that the process will be fair. It just tells us it will take time. And therefore, if there is a way that as a young generation we can avoid being depressed, is by we trusting the process. You see, when we read about the ethics, the Gengeton artists that recently are on the limelight, we have got ethics, we have got Triomio, some young artists who broke to the limelight in their 20s. There are other artists who broke to the limelight on their 50s. But doesn't mean that these artists who broke on their 50s to the limelight in their 20s, they never had such ability. They were learning the process. Same to you. Like no matter how young you are, no matter how ambitious you are, then you must just learn the process. You must learn the art of patience, because if you don't become patient, then you end up having lots of panic. You end up not seeing the positivity of what's happening to you in the present time, and therefore, in the end, you just remain a frustrated person, and these frustrations end up making you to be depressed. The process doesn't become harsh so that it hurts you. It becomes harsh so that it mentors you to be the hardened personality who will, when he will be handling the peak of his success, whereby there are so many interests in it, then you'll be a person of substance. Therefore, that is a better way for us also to handle depression. And maybe as I'm almost wrapping up, then if we have to handle these menace known as depression also, we must be explorative mentally. We must read many books. We must have exposure. Sometimes, if you know that the situation you're going through, many other people have gone through it, maybe you will have been calm. If you knew that the kind of leadership that you want so much, many other people, including the kind of role models that you have, passed through harsh decisions than yours, maybe you'll have been calm. If you knew that the kind of breakthrough you want, many people waited for it for longer, even beyond your age, maybe you will have been calm. And therefore, that's why out there, if we really have to handle the menace of depression, then we must learn, we must have the right exposure. And right exposure comes from right study habits, right livelihood habits, whereby just read many books. It doesn't hurt. They say that if you want to hide something from an African, then you need to hide it in books. And therefore, there are so many things and many dynamics of how better we can perceive the world, which can only be unearthed if we read more books. By reading more books, it gives you more knowledge, gives you more wisdom, gives you more perspectives, and all these perspectives in the long run they turn out to be the perspectives that will enable you attain whatever you want. And therefore, if there is a better way for you to handle depression, then you must have just a wide variety. They say that variety is the spice of life. And therefore, if we must spice up life, then we must read more books. Number two, listen to the stories of other people, not really to criticize them, not really to feel that your story is better than theirs, but to know that to whatever hard situation you've been or you will be, other people have been to it before. And you realize that challenges are human in nature and they were meant for human beings. And through that, it will also help you to stir you forward. And therefore, I believe that through this, through having such a conversation, it will enable us to move forward. And maybe young men out there, I know there are so many young men, maybe who fall and who are in tough situations as we speak. Just hold on. Maybe the world may not be fair to you right now. You've got so many ambitions, but you don't see any provision. You've got so many goals, but you don't see any signals that you will achieve them. You've got so many challenges and you lack a crying shoulder. You've got so many dreams, but you lack a clear path that you can follow to achieve it. Just hold on. Just relax. Just just hold on. Out there from the blue skies, a way will be out there. Just the main thing is to be consistent, to remain focused. No focused person has never failed to achieve whatever they wanted to achieve. I know this conversation, we could have had it a longer time, but they say that time and tide awaits no man. I put a pause there, and next time we'll have another conversation right here at Ndemo Live. And remember that if you've not subscribed, just look there at the channel, click the button subscribe so that every time we make more uploads, you'll be here to learn right here at Ndemo Live. We keep it as it is. Bye bye.